Starting off first with the latest coming in from Manila on the ongoing ASEAN Summit. WION's continuous coverage getting you the latest from on ground in Manila. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte meeting on the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit. Several agreements have been signed between the two nations.
That ends our exchange of agreements ceremony. We thank your excellencies for witnessing.
Staying with the latest coming in from Manila, the press briefing by the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs taking place there. Let's cut across.
And soon thereafter, he went to attend the gala dinner that was hosted by the President of Philippines in honor of all the visiting dignitaries who have been invited for the ASEAN and ASEAN-related summit meetings. And so that really included all the leaders of the ASEAN who were invited, plus 8 leaders from the East Asia Summit who are part of the 10+8 East Asia. In addition to that, there was the Prime Minister of Canada, the EU head, and the Secretary General of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So these were the invitees to this particular ASEAN-related meetings that have started since the gala dinner that was held last evening. Early this morning, as I mentioned, the day started very early for our Prime Minister at 9 o'clock. Along with the other leaders who've been invited, he attended the 31st opening ceremony of the ASEAN Summit. As I mentioned to you in Delhi in our briefing before we left, that this particular ASEAN Summit is very significant for ASEAN member countries because it is the 50th anniversary of the establishment of ASEAN and under the chairmanship of Philippines. So a very grand opening ceremony was held, which is normally attended only by ASEAN member states, but this time the invitation was also extended to the East Asia Summit leaders as well. And in that capacity, our Prime Minister was present there. There was a very interesting component to the cultural program that was put up that included Ramayana Hari, a little musical performance, a dance drama from the Ramayana. And I'll come to that later when I brief you about our Prime Minister's bilateral meeting with President Duterte, where he definitely referred to it because it was something very special. It was celebrated as part of ASEAN heritage, and the fact that ASEAN heritage celebrates the Ramayana trail shows the very close linkage, the cultural, historical linkages that India has with the entire Southeast Asian, the ASEAN region. After attending the opening ceremony, our Prime Minister has visited 2 particular institutions. One is the International Rice Research Institute, and then he went to the Mahavir Philippines Foundation. The International Rice Research Institute, India has a very old relationship with this particular very well-known global institution of repute, known for undertaking a lot of research on rice, of course, rice cultivation, but has subsequently enlarged its scope of work and research to go beyond into issues of food security, of issues of climate change, etc. Now, issues that are of direct interest to India. A large number of Indian scientists work at this particular institution. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who is of course the father of India's Green Revolution, has also a very strong association with this particular institute. And this particular institute has decided to open its first ever South Asian branch, and that would be opened in Banaras, in Varanasi, in January next year. And so Prime Minister visited the institute. He particularly took a lot of interest in seeing the research work that has been done for saline tolerant, drought tolerant and flood tolerant rice seeds, which is again of a lot of interest to us. Prime Minister also gifted 2 special kinds of rice grain genes to this particular institute, and they've agreed and offered, in fact, instantly, that all research that comes out of this particular gift from India would in fact be used for their future research and shared with India. So that was a very, very successful and a very interesting visit. The fact that there were so many Indian scientists also in this institute had a special resonance for Prime Minister as well. Then he went to the Mahavir Philippines Foundation, which really is an NGO, a charitable institution, which has been opened by Filipinos and people of Indian descent, and is doing some excellent humanitarian work in fixing the Jaipur foot, and it has helped a large number of amputees who have been beneficiaries of it. And in fact, as a gesture of goodwill and our support to the institute, our Prime Minister in fact has offered a modest $200,000 donation to this institute, which will help in further carrying the activities of this particular institute. After that, our Prime Minister addressed the ASEAN Business and Investment Summit.
We'll continue to track the very latest coming in from Manila and breaking down the key takeaways from the Indian Prime Minister's visit there. Prime Minister Modi addressed the business summit as well earlier during his visit to Manila for the ASEAN Summit. Prime Minister Modi, during that address, said the task to transform India into a superpower is proceeding at an unprecedented scale. He also said that the country has witnessed an increase in adoption of digital transactions, and the government has repealed as many as 1,200 outdated laws. Prime Minister Modi also made a push for his pet project, Make in India. He highlighted his minimum government, maximum governance push, saying that the government has simplified the process to start new companies in the country.
One of the major themes of this summit is entrepreneurship. We have launched a campaign called Make in India. Through this initiative, we are committed to transform India as a major player in the global value chain. We want to make India a global manufacturing hub. At the same time, we want our youth to be job creators, not just job seekers.
When Prime Minister Narendra Modi lands in Manila, WION brings you the first report.
For India, the ASEAN and East Asia summits will be significant.
When India reaches out to the world, you hear it on WION.
एक्ट ईस्ट पॉलिसी इन देशों में बहुत नजदीकी महसूस करते हैं.
When overseas Indians await India's messenger, WION captures the moment for you.
I'm standing at the venue of Prime Minister Modi's next engagement with the Indian diaspora here in Manila.
When behind the doors meetings shape a new world, WION brings you the best analysis.
Chips, I'm sure there are some sticking points. What are those? Do you believe that they were addressed or are going to be addressed?
WION, World is One News.